Hi friends! Welcome back to Camp Have Lots of Funna. For today's virtual camp activity, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some really cool tie-dye t-shirts and tie-dye masks. First, let's learn what supplies we will need for this activity. You will need some white t-shirts and some white masks first. I'm going to be using 3 white t-shirts and 2 masks for the activity. You're also going to need gloves, tie-dye, rubber bands, a trash bag, and a container. First, we're going to put gloves on. This will prevent us from getting dye that will stain on our skin. First, I'm going to be making a swirl typed tie-dye t-shirt. So you're going to want to start in the middle and start to twist and keep twisting the t-shirt until you get along the outer edges of the shirt, and then you will stop once the whole t-shirt is in sort of a swirled shape. Next, you're going to use rubber bands to hold your t-shirt into place and to separate where you want different colors and different places. I used around 4 rubber bands for each t-shirt. I made 2 swirl t-shirts, and for the last t-shirt, I took a cardboard cylinder and I rolled up my t-shirt around the cylinder, and then I put 2 rubber bands to hold it into place and to section off the places that I wanted different colors to give it kind of a faded look in the end. Next, I did my masks. So for my masks, I scrunched them up and put them into hot dog style shapes, and then I put rubber bands around them where I wanted the colors to be different. Next, I simply put my gloves on and got my tie-dye out and started adding color where I wanted color on my t-shirts and my masks. A good tip for this is to use different trash bags for each different color combo that you're doing, just in that way the colors don't end up mixing, and then also to take the items out of the box once you're done, or the container once you're done. This way the colors don't mix from item to item as well, but you definitely don't have to do this. And then the other suggestion I have is just to make sure that the entire t-shirt is covered in the color, and that way there isn't unneeded white that you don't want, unless you do want white to be part of the color scheme, in which case just obviously leave whatever parts you want white. Once you're done, you're just gonna leave them to dry for 24 to 48 hours. I ended up leaving mine to dry for about 35 hours. This allows for the dye to dry so that the dye doesn't end up fading away when you wash it later on. Next, once they're all dry, you're gonna go ahead and cut the rubber bands. Be careful, and because we're going to be using sharp objects for this, if you need to have an adult help you, that is totally okay. We would rather you get help from an adult than to end up accidentally hurting yourself. Next, you are going to use cold water and you are going to rinse the tie-dye until the water is clear and doesn't have any color in it when you're rinsing. This makes sure that we get all of the excess dye off so that the colors don't end up mixing in the wash or fading out in the wash. Lastly, we are simply just gonna put our items into the wash, add some detergent, and wash and dry our clothes. A good tip is to wash colors that are similar together, just in case there is any excess dye, so this way it won't completely ruin the design that your t-shirts or your masks have. Another good tip is to make sure you wash the clothes on warm water, because this will help the colors stay. Alright, here are the results. This is how the t-shirt that I wrapped around the cylinder turned out. And here are how the 2 swirl t-shirts that I did ended up turning out. And lastly, how my mask turned out. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you, friends, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed following along my tie-dye tutorial just as much as I did. Thanks again. Bye, friends.